Isaiah 55, 10 to 11. For as the rain comes down and the snow from heaven, and do not return there, but water the earth and bring it forth and bud, that the sower is ready to eat. So my word be, that goes forth from my mouth, it shall not return to me void, that it shall accomplish what I please, and it shall prosper in the thing for which I sent it. So we hear God is speaking to us here concerning seed and bread. He's saying my bread is like seed, and every seed has an assignment. Seed is a means to an end, right? And he's saying every seed comes with an assignment to produce what God intended it to produce, to accomplish what pleases God, and to prosper anything unto which God sent. So what he's saying to us here, that the purpose of seed is simply to be sown. That's the only purpose of seed. And seed can only fulfill its purpose if it's sown. So if it's seed in my seed bag, it's just potential. I have to put it in the ground in order for that seed to God encoded it to bring forth, right? We also know that unless it's sown, seed will remain void. It will appear and yet it will hold a whole lot of life, a whole lot of fruit, a whole lot of produce in it. It must be sown. So sowing seed is the only way seed can accomplish its God-given purpose, and is the only way by which it can prosper in its assignment. So seed sown will prosper in its assignment, but seed not sown will not prosper. That's what God is telling us. That His word, as good as it is, the Bible tells us that His word is living. It says it is sharper than any two-edged sword. But with all that power that the word has, unless it's sown, it will never accomplish God's will for your life and mine. It will never fulfill His purpose for your life and mine. So I'm hoping that we have been persuaded that the word of God is for sowing in our hearts. It's not just for reading. It's not for a casual, for casual relationships. It's for intimacy. You know how seed is with the soil in order for it to sprout. It's the same way with the word. It has to be sown in the garden of our hearts. It has to. I don't think I can label the point. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 10 again. The emphasis is on sowing the seed. Now, may he who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food, supply and multiply the seed you have sown, and increase the fruits of your righteousness, while you are enriched in everything for all liberality, which causes thanksgiving to God. And from that passage of scripture, the reason why I absolutely love it is it demonstrates partnership between God and us in handling this. So God is the creator of the seed, but saying full potential exists, but that potential can only be released when you act. So he's saying, I'm at your mercy. The seed is at your mercy. It will not accomplish its purposes unless you do it. Do we get it? So we do have a part to play. So in that passage of scripture, it brings out God's part and our part. And we must not expect God to play our part, which was my foolishness for the longest time. I used to pray to God to soften my heart, to open the ears of my heart, but it's up to me to soften my heart to the word of God. Just like it's up to the farmer to work the land and prepare for seed to go into it, right? It's up to me to be receptive to the word of God, for it to be sown in the garden of God. So it's very clear in that passage of scripture that he has a part to play. He has already played his part. And now he's saying the rest is up to you. His part is to supply us the seed, right? Our part is to receive, access the seed. Our part is then to sow the seed. And then he says, once you have done your part, I'll come in again and do my part to multiply the seed. Once I multiply the seed, there will be increase, there will be fruit, and that fruit or that increase will cause thanksgiving to come from men and to beg to God. So what he's saying, the purpose of it is for the glorification of his name. The purpose of the seed of the word of God in our hearts and lives is for our lives to speak so loudly. The goodness of that glory and praise goes back to you. Okay? But God is saying, as much as I have assigned my words to do that, as much as I have encoded my words to ultimately bring back praise and honor and glory to my name, you and I have to play with that. We have to sow it. We have to receive the seed. We have to sow it. And then praise will ultimately go back to you. So we've so far covered 5 methods of study. The first one was a systematic approach, which we spoke about. I think we concluded that is the way to familiarize ourselves with the concepts of the kingdom, or the principles that run the kingdom, or the laws, or the general body of truth over which the kingdom of God runs. That one is our entry point. Everybody must be aware of what is in the seed bank. Any farmer needs to be aware of what is in his granary, or of what seed he has at his disposal. And that systematic approach is the way for you and I to get acquainted with what has been entrusted to us. The second one was the thematic approach, which is a topical approach. And it's like choosing the kind of seed for the harvest that you want. If I want the seed of healing, I go into the word, I look for the seed, for the word that has to do with healing. If I want prosperity, I'm going to the word, I look for the seed of the word which has to do with prosperity. If I want a functional marriage, I'm going to the word to see what seed God has put that bag of seeds for me to be able to sow into my marriage, into relationships, into my family, into my business, etc., etc. So the thematic approach is what identifies the type of seed that I need for the season, right? We spoke about the time case studies, and God tells us over and over again in the scripture that everything that is written in the word was for our business. Examples of what to do and examples of what not to do. And I think last week we spoke about how it is foolish for anyone to want to learn from their own mistakes. By the time you've learned the lesson, you're dead. So you're better advised to learn from the scars of others, okay? To learn from the scars of the Davids of the Bible, the Josephs of the Bible. All those characters were given for us to do, so that we can apply principles that we learn to our own lives and avoid the pitfalls, or apply these principles which we learn from them and get the same kind of glory that way. Okay? Then we went on to talk about meditation, which I said is my study method of choice. That is the one that I absolutely love. And it's not separate from the rest. It works in consonance with the rest. So every word that we read, every case study that we do in the word is supposed to reflect back on our reality. It's supposed to help us paint pictures of our lives according to what God is teaching us in whatever case study we're talking about, or in whatever thematic or topical lesson that we have learned. So eventually, the word has not done its work until it has brought us to that place of meditation. And we said that method of study, which we define as meditation, hinges on the issue of imagination. That is the part of meditation that unlocks the potential of the word and releases it into our lives. We had to do the semantic and word study approach last week, and we saw how one English word can mean 1,000 different things depending on the content of the word. And that is really where promoting a touch that you shouldn't live home without it, right? Because it gives you the context, it gives you better answer, it makes the principles easier to apply to our own lives. When we have a full understanding, or when we get the full picture, depending on the use of the considering, right? Today we are going to start on the final one, which is prayer to study the word of God. So sowing the seed systematically, we said it's becoming acquainted with the word. Why is it missing about with the word? So that we know what is a topic also. We say it over and over and over again. So it's a study that should start and never stop, right? Every single day of our life, we should familiarize ourselves with what is in the seed there. Because we have a tendency to forget, right? We have a tendency to forget, and the Bible tells us that the Holy Spirit was given to bring remembrance everything that we should know. You can't remember something that you've never heard before, right? So the systemic approach lays the foundation off of which the Holy Spirit, the ministry of the Holy Spirit will be unleashed in our lives. So I can read a passage of scripture 9 months down the road, I face a certain situation, the Holy Spirit will share that way. But if I've never encountered it, it means we will be working with blanks. And blanks don't produce anything, right? So that's why we systematically study the Word of God. The second method, the thematic approach, we said it is an intentional study which is concerned with or related to particularly topical subject matter. And now beginning to get in the principles that make the kingdom work. I've graduated from getting a cursory understanding of the kingdom and getting into the law of the kingdom and getting into principles that make it work and getting into how of the kingdom. So that God wants me to prosper. But the thematic approach will now train me on how to prosper. How does it prosper? First of all, I must apply my hands to something. Okay? Now I know that if I don't have a job, I'm going to look for a job. If I'm not running a business, I'm going to start to think about something to sell. Because I've learned from the thematic approach that God's blessing, God's financial blessing flows through the course of my life. On the character and case study, we said it is a first and intensive study on a person, a group, or situation, a period of time, in order to derive an understanding of or illustrate the principle. The whole point being to apply it to my own life. So when I read about David, I must be looking out for how does his life speak to mine? Okay? If I'm reading about Gideon, how is his perspective before and after his encounter with God speak to mine? Which aspects of my life am I carrying the Gideon? Oh, I'm the least. And my family is the least, my tribe is the least. you know? And how did God change his perspective? By his word. So when God starts to speak to me, and he starts to call me his princess, when he starts to call me his beloved son, when he starts to rejoice and sing over me, my mind will start to change and become like Gideon. The way that Gideon's mind was changed, mine will also change. So I will understand that I know my perspective about this aspect of my life is not good, it's not good. How am I going to change it? Gideon used the word of God, so I'm going to stick my nose in the book, and my perspective will also be changed.